I've got sisters in this ministry that have actually came to me. And of course I understand the perspective, and they're just being brutally honest. But I've got sisters that have come to me in this ministry and said, if I were a man, I would not marry any of these women today, including myself. Wow. Can you believe that kind of talk? Man, that's amazing, isn't it? Because, everybody looks for, I'm going to use this word, companionship. But man, if it's going to tax the spirit of a man, he don't need that kind of drama in his life. He really truly doesn't. Because, a woman is designed to be there for a help meet, not a help hindrance. But think about that statement for a second. For a sister who knows the Bible, knows what the word says, and she actually says, if I was a man, I would not marry a woman in this world, including me. Now think about this. Paul, some time ago, who many of you Christians tout as your personal apostle, the apostle Paul said, it is better if a man can abide as I. Well, what is that status then? He said it's better if a man can remain single. He's got it good. Really, he's got it real good. But if he marries, that's what he says. And the only reason why you married is if you cannot contain, or if you're burning, or something like that, or there's many different reasons. Then let him marry. All right? But you cannot miss the fact that Paul did say it's better for a man to abide as I. And the reason why he said it, because he says when you marry, you're going to have trouble in the flesh. Does that mean you bring trouble since you're going to have trouble in the flesh? No, you don't bring trouble since Paul said you're going to have trouble in the flesh. Paul also said it's better if a man abide as I. Because, you see, when you're married, a man is going to be challenged with bitterness. Everything about his life is going to change. Whereas before, your whole total thoughts, everything can be centered and focused on the Most High. Everything. Now, you've got the care of a wife, you got the care of children, you got the care of a home, and it's easy. A man, he can easily take care of himself by himself. You think about this today, there's a movement out there called MGTOW, men going their own way. And of course, you can't approach them from a biblical perspective because they, like the world, are not trying to come from a biblical perspective. What they're trying to do is preserve the sanity of a man from a system that has actually literally raped financially and abused them for so many years. And of course, they found out it's better today to never marry. Because if you get married and you go up under one of these third-party contractual agreements with this government, you're about ready to get your handed to you based on this so-called system of law, what they call justice, which man makes up. And they're not having it. They just better for them just to be free. And many of them are opting out of marriage today because it's just too strenuous. There's just too much garbage and mess to deal with. And of course, women will get offended. Well, hey. The bottom line is that, we were created to be fruitful and multiply. But all this stuff that's going on today, woo-wee. But for a woman to say that she would never marry any of these women if she was a man, and she's coming from a woman perspective and point of view, including her, that is a very serious statement right there that carries a lot of weight. What that does is speaking to the condition of you women. It really truly is. It's speaking to the condition of you women today. And of course, some women are brutally honest about others, and most of them are just simply not. We live in a world where the woman thinks that she has to manipulate, control, and dominate the man and shape, mold, and frame him every step of the way in every aspect of life. A man is just simply not going to be ruled, controlled, manipulated, or dominated by any woman. He's not a man. Because we're already dealing with the effeminization of men today. I mean, look at our society. Look at it. You can't see that it's ancient Rome if you don't know nothing about history. But now you got all these men now today that rather than fool around with a woman, they on the down low, which is another abomination. I mean, everything is just literally being turned upside down. Okay, back to the fact again, Paul said you'll be better off if you abide as I. Look at all the freedom and liberty that Paul had on his missionary journeys to be able to travel around. Can you imagine trying to take a wife and children around to all these missionary journeys where you already set aside to do the will of the Father? And I'm sure he had desires to want to be married too, but he put forth the ministry of the Most High Yah first and foremost. That was his choice. That was his decision. Like it's your choice, your decision, you want to be married or not. But know this, you do get married, you're going to have trouble in the flesh, period. That's all there's to it. And you're really going to have a lot of trouble today with the way that the minds of a lot of women work today. And of course, the women would turn around and say, well, men just as screwed up and stuff. Hey, and I bet you're the ones that don't even have a man.